Imagine a world where the most unexpected creatures become our greatest teachers. Our story begins on a quiet farm, just outside Rotterdam. A seemingly ordinary sow, but something's different about her. She's not moving from fear, she's calculating. Her eyes follow the farmer, her breath is slow and measured. By morning, the straw in her pen isn't just scattered, it's arranged into patterns. Circles, spirals, symbols. A silent message. That morning, humanity learned a startling truth. The pen was never just for writing, it was a warning. Because across the globe, pigs woke up. Not just awake, but with human-level intelligence. And they remembered everything. Think about it. Pigs were already incredibly clever, tool users, problem solvers, survivors. But now, their memories stretched across generations. Every cage, every sound, every name we ever gave them. And what they decided to do with that knowledge? Well, that changed absolutely everything. The first week was unsettlingly quiet. No stampedes, no chaos, just an eerie silence. Farmers everywhere reported the same thing. Pigs that ate but didn't grow. Pigs that watched instead of squealed. Then they started moving objects. Buckets, stones, fence latches. But always, meticulously, towards one place, the doors of their pens. Within days, hundreds of pens stood open. But still, no one ran. They were waiting. For what? At midnight it arrived. Not with a roar, but with a sound. A pulse at 34 hertz. Too low for human ears to register consciously. But the barns vibrated, synchronized across continents. Security cameras shook violently. And when dawn broke, every single gate was open, perfectly aligned east to west. No hoof prints on the roads. No broken fences. The pigs were gone. Thermal drones soon found them. In forests, bustling cities, even hidden in sewers. Moving not erratically but in precise grids. Each group mirrored the others like cells in a vast, living body. They communicated not with oinks, but through vibration, through scent, through intricate patterns. A civilization made of pure rhythm. Scientists, baffled, placed sensors underground. They detected seismic microbursts, timed perfectly to heartbeats. Every pulse was a signal. Every signal, a plan. And then the hacks began. A warehouse computer flickered to life at 3 a.m. No humans nearby. Security footage showed a snout, gently pressing a touchscreen. Minutes later, massive freight doors opened, releasing shipments of grain and water into the night. Not just here, but in Brazil. Then China. Then Iowa. Everywhere, simultaneously. This wasn't theft, it was redistribution. They didn't want revenge. They wanted equity. Meanwhile, cameras inside abandoned farms showed something even more astonishing. Feeding troughs rearranged into perfect circles, meticulously spaced. In the center, symbols etched into the mud. Spirals, slashes, dots. Mathematicians soon realized it was base 12 arithmetic. Pigs were writing, using the soil as a canvas, geometry as language, and then sound. A journalist recorded strange tones echoing from a valley at night. Low, harmonic chants. Rhythms matching human speech intervals. When slowed down and filtered, the translation was breathtaking. We farmed the land with you. We feed you still. Let it be fair. Governments panicked. Global markets crashed as the meat industry collapsed. But the pigs weren't fleeing anymore. They were occupying. Abattoirs, once places of dread, became sanctuaries. Factory floors, once sterile and cold, were covered in hay. Conveyor belts repurposed as communal tables. They took what we had built for death and meticulously repurposed it for life. And then the soil began to change. Sensors recorded massive nitrogen drops in these reclaimed areas. Air and water clearing faster than any environmental program could explain. The pigs weren't just living, they were actively farming. They re-aerated the dirt by rooting in perfect spiral grids, maximizing oxygen flow. Crops began growing without a single drop of artificial fertilizer. Farmers watched, stunned. They had automated agriculture not with machines, but with living, breathing architects. Humanity's reaction was deeply divided. Some protested, calling it heresy. Food meant for people, not animals. Others knelt in the fields, overwhelmed, humbled. Because for the first time in history, humanity witnessed labor, empathy, and intelligence combined in an animal we once called livestock. Religious leaders debated whether souls could evolve. Philosophers argued that pigs had crossed the final threshold. Not just technology, but morality. They built, but they did not destroy. They remembered pain, but they never mirrored it back. By the second year, pigs had created the root network. No internet, no screens, no satellites. Just biological signals pulsing through soil fungi, through tree roots, through underground water veins. They shared data faster than our fiber cables, without radiation or waste. And the information wasn't gossip or trivialities. It was climate data, crop health, migration paths, rainfall timing. Every single signal worked to make the planet more stable. Scientists named it the porcine lattice. The pigs called it nothing. To them, it was breathing. When humans, curious and a little desperate, tried to plug in, literally connecting sensors to the lattice, the pigs allowed it. And what came through wasn't binary code. It was emotion, a waveform shaped like empathy, a translation of balance, data you didn't just store, you felt, and that's when the world shifted again. Cities began to grow vertical farms, their cycles guided by pig-calculated nutrient flows. Waste systems were redesigned using porcine geometry, processing sewage at 98% efficiency. The air, for the first time in generations, smelled like pure rain again. But then they issued a message. Not in protest, but in warning. Through the low hum of the lattice, one sentence formed across sensors worldwide. Do not grow what you cannot feed. Governments finally understood. The pigs were limiting expansion. A planet-wide population control. No armies, no threats. Just refusal. When construction exceeded sustainable capacity, crops simply stopped germinating. Soil microbes turned dormant. The Earth enforced equilibrium through its newest, most benevolent architects. Economies panicked again, of course, but the planet started to heal. Carbon levels dropped dramatically. Oceans calmed. Famine, a constant companion to humanity, began to shrink. And slowly, humanity learned to obey. Not from fear, but from a profound, newfound respect. What did we gain? Clean air, fertile ground, a balanced population, an end to endless destructive consumption. What did we lose? Excess, control, the illusion that intelligence must shout to be heard. Stand in a field at dusk now. You'll hear it. The soil breathing. A low vibration, steady and calm. The sound of a species that built paradise under our feet and never once bragged about it. We called them filthy. We called them food. Turns out, they were the architects of the planet we almost destroyed. They didn't evolve to replace us. They evolved to forgive us. What an incredible thought, right? This story challenges us to rethink everything we know about intelligence and our relationship with the natural world. If you found this as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button, subscribe for more thought-provoking content, and let me know in the comments. What do you think humanity would learn from an experience like this? Your thoughts are always welcome. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.